Weather University on WRIC Now is sponsored by Blank & Marcus, attorneys at law. Nice guys working to make a difference.
Hello, everyone. Long time no see. It is time for Weather University. I'm Storm Tracker 8 meteorologist Matt DiNardo, and as always, joined by my friend and colleague. There she is, Jacqueline Waters. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Good morning, Matt. Happy to have you back.
Thank you. It's been pretty active while I was gone. You had some different tropical systems to talk about, and of course, you talked about last week the end of October, beginning of November, the change of the season, and blah, 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 blah. And here we are. We're now in November, but we continue to be pretty dry.
Yes, I mean, it's been pretty, for our area the last 2 weeks, it's been pretty quiet.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, the hurricane season goes all the way through the end of November, so a lot of people often forget that, and we have a couple of things to talk about with the tropics today.
We do have, a couple of things here. So let's bring up some information. We have Tropical Depression 18 early this morning. This was potential tropical cyclone number 18. We were watching it. Now it's a tropical depression, which means it's a little bit better organized. It's nothing great. And Jack, when we look at the track here, a couple of things. This could become a tropical storm in the next 24 to 48 hours, and maybe a hurricane based on the National Hurricane Center, maybe by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
Yeah, I mean, something that we definitely are watching, but also the National Hurricane Center is saying it's going to, in the next 3 to 4 days, go through some wind shear. So it's not going to be, I know people probably see this and they're starting to get worried. It's not going to be a major hurricane by any means, at least right now. That's not what the forecast is, knock on wood, but that's not what the forecast is showing. So,
and part of that, you mentioned it there, as it does become a hurricane going into the western side of Cuba, but when it goes on the other side of Cuba, the waters are not as warm as they were when we had Helene or, I'm drawing a train of thought here, storm that slid into just south of Tampa. Oh my gosh. Losing my brain.
Helene.
Anyway.
We'll see it when we get to the name list.
Of course we will, right? And then Milton?
Milton.
Yeah, there we go. Boy, lost it there. So the waters are a little bit cooler, number one. And two, you mentioned shear. And again, just talk about what shear is so people understand.
So basically shear, you have directional and also speed shear. But the different altitudes you go up in the atmosphere, you have these differing wind directions, and that's what really breaks up a hurricane. You want the wind shear for tornadoes, but for a hurricane, when you have wind shear, so wind coming from different directions, also different speeds at different altitudes, it really weakens that hurricane. It basically tears it apart.
Doesn't allow that whole formation as we like to see. All right, so that's
and dry air too. It will move into in the next 3 to 4 days.
Another thing too, right? So and that's why we go from that Category 1 there into that tropical storm icon there as it approaches Louisiana. And we look at the tracks here. The tracks do vary very differently once we get past the end of the weekend. Some one going to Florida, another one Panhandle of Florida, others eastern Louisiana. Very few are western Louisiana, which was kind of where the National Hurricane Center's track was headed toward. If we review that, to me, again, it kind of makes more of a left turn versus the model. So we'll be curious to see how the National Hurricane Center starts to incorporate the models and see some changes here. So it's very interesting there.
Yeah.
So, we got a question, Jack. Hold on. Let's see if I can bring this up here. Joe Cannon, do you think any front where the barometer readings fluctuate and catfish at 30 feet down on the James River, the only front that we have coming through, Joe, is one that's going to slide through Thursday afternoon, and that's going to be so weak, it's probably not going to bring the catfish up. They'll come up. Maybe they'll be about 20 feet, but they're going to be pretty stuck to the ground. So just continue to enjoy your fishing. At least the weather is nice for fishing. We had a question! Yay!
Yay!
All right, let's continue on here. So we mentioned the names. It took a while, but we remembered it was Milton. Of course, Leslie and Helene were still cleaning up in Western Virginia, Western North Carolina from Helene. What did we say this morning? What was or maybe you also read it this weekend? Part of the Blue Ridge Parkway finally reopened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, geez, so bad, right?
And then they were also saying still some trails could be damaged.
Yeah, because they haven't been walked out on to really see. Yeah, so you got to be careful. But at least we are getting some weather. All right, so Patty, you talked about this while I was gone. I didn't even know Patty, and not even
I
Patty.
actually didn't talk about it too much.
You didn't, because it was so an Oscar.
it was-
Form too. So I missed a lot, right?
Yeah.
And thank you so much, by the way, for covering.
You're
So
welcome.
Oscar and Patty. Patty is now a remnant system heading toward Spain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was over the weekend. It was just so far away. We had so many other things to talk about, so I didn't really mention it too much. I was mentioning that area in the Caribbean, but yeah, now it's just the ghost of Patty almost.
The ghost of Patty, yeah, and not to affect us, unlike the other ghosts of storms that have affected us for sure. So
but on our storm, that's got down the list pretty quickly.
Right. So the tropical depression that we're looking at could become Raphael.
Yep.
By the way, if you missed the numbers, there, Raphael, then Sarah, then Tony, Valerie, and William. And if we make it through that. That's pretty impressive. Then we go to that second name list, which we didn't actually include in today's discussion. I don't know if we're going to get that far into it. Even though there's, you just put it in here, after Patty and after what might be Raphael, there is another area we're watching that's out in the Eastern Caribbean, but right now low chance of anything developing.
Yeah, I mean, and especially with Tropical Depression 18, maybe some upwelling and cooler temperatures.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know if this will really actually organize into a storm.
And as we talked about earlier with shear, a lot of times now weather systems are moving faster, shear at different layers in the sky, more prevalent, so tougher to get systems developing, and they usually get steered away because of very strong systems sliding through mainland United States. Cold fronts like Joe wants to get the catfish off of the 30-foot mark on the James River. All right, so let's talk about that tropical timeline. We are well past the peak. We are going toward the low end of the equation here. And then, it typically winds out. Although I will say it was not last year, maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3, I can't remember. We had a remnant tropical system come over us on Veterans Day, which on that was, of course, November 11th, and it was on a Friday. And I was up doing one of my fishing trips because that's where I go, right? And it was tornado warning city here. It was all kind of JB and one of our other meteorologists, Emily Kay at that time, on the air for hours and hours and hours. And I remember after it was done and I'm still fishing, Emily sends me a text. She goes, "I curse you for not being here for this one."
I mean, you weren't here for the other one that.
Yeah, no, I like to. So when look, I'm the meteorologist. I like to escape when weather is happening.
What was the big one before Helene?
It was something. You were here. Yeah, you even slept here, which I told you never do that again.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was busy.
Yeah, no, there's a lot going on for sure. And I get it. You want to make sure you have everything done. But tell JB to work harder. That's my answer. All right, so we mentioned the tropical timeline, as you see there. Again, November 1st, we're starting to go our way down, and that is some good news. Again, technically, November 30th is the end of our tropical season, as you know, Jackie, but we can always see something pop up at any real time. We've seen some crazy things happen.
Oh, yeah. Crazy things happen in weather. That's why we love it. We're crazy
We
meteorologists.
We are crazy meteorologists, for sure. All right, so tomorrow's election day. And everybody says, oh, what's the weather going to be? Can I get out and vote, right? And there used to be this old adage, and this is... Jackie, this is going to make me sound old, so... Back in the day, if the weather was bad and it rained, it favored the Republicans. If it were sunny, it favored the Democrats. That's all gone now, right? I mean, people are really... no, it's a true story, yeah.
I never heard you do that voice either.
Yeah. That's my old man voice, my old Matty D man voice. Anyway, so yeah, that used to be a thing, right? So if it rained or it was bad weather, Republicans would go out more than Democrats. I think it's all a bunch of malarkey, really. I think, especially in today's day and age, people are fired up to vote. They want to get out there. Weather is not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
It's not. Some people use, oh, it was too rainy, I couldn't get out. No, look.
Also, so many people did early voting this year.
So many. So many. I was shocked at the numbers.
It was like 78
million across the nation.
Yeah,
that's insane. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think the last presidential election was about 84th million. So, I mean, this is incredible, like in terms of total voting. So, if we're at 78 million for pre-voting, early voting, I should say. Anyway, back here at home, don't quote me on the politics side. I'm a meteorologist. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of insight here. If you want politics, we'll bring in Tyler Englander. He can talk politics. All right, we'll bring in JB. He's a walking encyclopedia for politics. Anyway, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, partly cloudy skies, 52 degrees. We get into the afternoon looking at middle 70s, really great weather. And again, the polls in Virginia close at 7 o'clock. This is important. Pay attention. Mm-hmm. If you are standing in line at 7, you will still be able to cast your vote, and your vote counts. You cannot arrive after 7 o'clock. That's the key there. So just be mindful of that. And I believe, even though we've had a tremendous amount of early voting, I think there may be some long lines at some polling areas. So please do your due diligence, take your patience, and vote.
It's nice, though. I mean, even if you do wait on a long line, you don't need a rain jacket.
Right.
You don't need a heavy jacket.
Correct.
You're not going to be sweating.
Yep.
Weather's never an excuse not to vote, but, I mean, it's really going to be nice for the long lines.
It really is.
Maybe catch a little suntan.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, for sure, right? All right, so let's talk about that. So, all right, so weather looks good. Now, Jackie, you mentioned it. When was the last time we had appreciable rain in
October 15th. And it was 0.03.
Right, and then before that, it was like October 2nd or 3rd.
October 1st from the remnants of Helene.
So 0.58.
0.58.
Yeah.
So 0.61 throughout the month of October.
That's it. I mean, that's incredibly low. And it wasn't even a top 10 driest because 0.58 was number 10. I remember that. And here we are now in November. We've had no rain. Now, okay, we're 4 days in. So, but the drought monitor, this is interesting because typically you think of drought when we're talking about the ability to grow crops. And so we're out of that season now, really. But there's still well water and there's other issues when you look at a lack of rainfall.
And I mean, last week, I know you weren't here last week, not basically all of Central Virginia didn't have that dry area,
that
just
the
area. Okay. Portions of the northern neck, like near Tappahannock, and then obviously the western part of the state. But that got expanded for all of us really last Thursday for that update.
Wow. So, and the new update comes in about Thursday morning about 8:45. So we'll see how that goes. I expect it's going to get a little bit worse, but again, without having growing conditions, it's not as big of an issue.
Yeah.
But if we continue to stay dry into next spring, it does affect planting for next spring.
Yep.
And there are some winter crops as well, just so you know. Yeah.
I mean, we're dry. I even want the rain. I've been doing the rain dance.
You just want like a rainy day to chill on the couch so you don't feel guilty kind of a thing?
Yeah. Well, also, I like the rain sometimes.
All right.
Read a book.
Okay.
And watch the rain.
All right, I got it, all right, so today, no issues at all. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, 76, partly sunny. Got a couple of miles. So the average high for this time of year is 64. So we're way above average when you look at tomorrow all the way through, let's say, Friday. And then we kind of slip back closer to normal there as we go into Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And if you notice the writing there, Thursday, maybe a spotty shower from that system that's out in the Midwest. And then Sunday, maybe another system trying to get to us to bring us a spotty shower. That might be the remnants of Raphael, but even that looks really weak. So there's nothing really good going on.
Also, Wednesday, I believe it's 81 degrees is the record high. So we could come close and challenge it on Wednesday. I believe it's 81, set back in 1975.
I'll look at that, because I think you mentioned the records.
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
I forget if it was Wednesday or Thursday, but
yeah.
I mean, it's been warm. October, I was showing basically the entire month of October, those temperatures, high temperatures, and more days than any other days, the seasonal below average. We had a lot of warm days in October. And, I mean, November's starting off pretty warm, too. 80s in November. Hard to believe.
So we're looking at, so today's the 4th. So Wednesday, 5th, 6th, right? 6th of November is 82, set back in 2022. Thursday's 84, set back in 2020. I'm looking at right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
The piece of paper we have in the weather center says something different, I think.
I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So, yeah. So, I mean, certainly warm for this time of year nonetheless. Yeah, exactly. It's just something to keep in mind. But boy, oh boy, Anyway, Saturday morning for many of us, we've been asking people to join the WRIC Walk for Alzheimer's team, and you go to our website and you can jump on that. We have a link on our website. You can join us. We're going to be over at Citi Field. Jackie, I know you can't because you're going to be on the air.
I wish I could.
Yeah, and we're going to miss you, but you'll be on the air. We'll be Autumn and Delaney will be broadcasting live. Then they'll be walking. I'll be there. I'm sure many other 8 News, Heather, the entire evening team will be there. I don't know if JB will be there or not, but, Eric Phillips, Deanna Albritton, many people will be there. And come on out. Should be a great time. More clouds in the afternoon, 70. And then Sunday, 68, maybe a spotty shower, as we mentioned. And Monday, looking pretty good. But it's pretty much all we got, Jack.
I think we have one more.
We do have one more slide? Did you put something in there?
The preset
Oh,
outlook.
yeah. Thanks.
Beyond the 8-day. So November 12th through November 18th.
Yeah.
Very low, like that light green color, but at least it's not below average.
Right, it's not brown.
Or dry.
Yeah, right.
So something hopefully to...
Fingers crossed? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, and let's do the rain dance too. With our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed rain dance. Yeah, that's what we need. Yeah, for sure. We do need some rain. But yeah, so fingers crossed that we get it. But that 8-day was looking relatively dry overall. Anyway, all right, with that, we're going to bring an end to this.
Any other final questions? I don't see any.
I don't see anything at all. Just the one from Joe about catfishing. By the way, Wednesday, I'll just make a little plug here on Off the Hook with Maddie D. I'm talking with Bo Beasley, who wrote a book. I did a Weather University, Off the Hook with Maddie D a while back about Project Healing Waters. And this one is with Bo Beasley, who wrote a book, Project Healing Waters, Veterans in Their Own Words. Unbelievable book. Awesome. So that's going to be a great one. We're going to talk about that because that's just ahead of Veterans Day. Anyway, Veterans Day, of course, being next Monday. I should have put that on the 8-day. My bad.
Oh, yeah, Mondays.
Yeah, all right.
Someone said good morning. Good morning. Keisha.
Oh, yes, Keisha Gary said good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you very much, Keisha, for joining us. As always, we'll throw that up there. Or maybe we won't because I don't know how to do it. Oh, there we go. There we go. See, Keisha Gary, good morning. All right. Anyway, with that, we're going to say thank you, everybody, for joining us. And Jacqueline, thank you for being here with me once again.
Thank you for coming back.
Good to be with you.